Hello, 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 and welcome back to The Wave. And it is myself, Pat, and Dave from Simply Subarus. And we welcome you to our 17th episode. We are very excited because today, Dave, we have gone viral. First time, let's do it. We got blown up. I posted a reel last night, and it was about the 3D printed engine episode that we did. And apparently everybody wanted to watch it, and it seemed like we were just blowing up my phone. It was just all day. I posted it at like midnight, and then all day the next day it was just going off. So we appreciate everybody who commented, everybody who's watching. If you want to continue the story, I know that we are following the journey of this 3D printed EJ engine, and I know the prototype is coming soon, so we are excited to follow along and show you guys the process of what's going on with that. So yeah, it's just great to see the feedback of the community and see you guys show up for us. And in the same way, we're going to show up for you guys at Boxer Fest with our new t-shirts. Boy, look at those. Let me show you the back here. We got the sponsors on the back. We got the
Fresh.
logo with everything on it. So if you guys want to pick one of these up, you can stop by our booth at Boxer Fest. We are very excited to meet everybody, and we are going to be doing a live podcast. We are going to be doing a lot of videos and stuff, but if you guys want to come sit down, throw a mic on, talk with us a little bit, we'll have some stuff for you to take home on your way out of the booth. So just come by, say hi. But Dave, I got a fun, jam-packed episode for today. I want to kick things right off with something that I saw today that I thought was amazing. Let me show you here. I actually put in an order for one of these, and I've never seen anything like it before. This is somebody on Facebook who has designed a Subaru ring with the front end of what looks like the 22B, or
Oh my God.
isn't that amazing? I saw this today and I was like thinking to myself, every time I go to the gym and stuff, I like beat up my wedding ring, and I'm always like, I don't know if I really want to get like a rubber ring, like, everybody wears those. This I would wear. This I would bring to the gym every day. I'm just saying, this thing is legit and I love it and I want one. So, Riley, if you see this, I'm coming for one. I need you to make it for me. So,
Just don't wear it when you're around a magnetic heat inductor.
yeah, that's true. That is true. I love this thing though. The detail in it, I mean, that's just so sick. I think it's so cool when you see people make stuff like this and they put it out for everybody else. If you want to order one or whatever, like he's taking orders now. I just love it. I love that this is what the community is all about. They make crazy shit. So, I just wanted to kind of show that off. I thought it was cool when I saw that posted today. And if you want one, now you guys know who to reach out to.
He's gonna get
Uh,
really busy.
yeah. So real quick, last episode we mentioned that Dave was on the road. He was about to go to the Diode Dynamics event. And Dave, you want to tell us how the event went?
It went absolutely fantastic. Huge shout out to not just the fellow Subaru community, but just every automotive enthusiast alike that came out and participated. If you look back, or if you followed our reels, we'll actually make a post about it. But we took a video of just the line getting into the establishment. It was just massive, massive. We're talking probably a mile or two long of people just trying to get in there. So we were humbly glad to get there earlier, but it was great to get to meet everybody, hang out with our enthusiasts, and also get to learn a lot about kind of what makes Diode Dynamics a proud USA company, and the fact that a vast majority of their products they build locally in the United States and with a real attention to care and detail. So that was definitely an eye-opening experience, getting to see that from a in-depth level. getting to meet, and as well as getting to meet and hang out with the guys that you've talked to for years and establish relationships with, and getting to hang out and look at some cool cars and talk about future products, which is another thing that was really exciting. So we got to sit down and talk about what the future was for them, as well as also what us, the enthusiasts, would like to see. And I think it was really ironic, as we mentioned in the last episode, that I thought about one thing, and as I got there, that all of a sudden I got a notification that they designed it. It almost as if listening to my dreams. So I think that really is a testament to them as automotive enthusiasts, and also they're very intimately passionate about the Subaru community specifically, and they cater specifically to us with a lot of different um, specific custom fit applications, which I think is fantastic. And anytime you can grow the market for aftermarket support, I'm all for.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that aftermarket support is what keeps communities like this alive, honestly. It's hard when you have to go to the dealer for everything and nobody makes specific parts. And the Impreza is such a unique car because everything's so interchangeable, and then like all these companies come out of the woodwork and make parts for these things. I mean, there's still companies that are surviving off making parts for the 99 Impreza. Like, that's 25 years ago. Like
Hmm.
that's how strong the community is. You look at Boxerfest, 7,000 people show up to Boxerfest. 7,000 people for one car brand just because this is what they decide to drive. Like it's really amazing. And I think that every year I get blown away by how big Subaru is as a brand and how they position themselves in the market and how all of these people come around and are, almost like a family community around the brand. So, um, yeah, I mean, Dynamics has been around for a long time. I think they're a great company. Is there anything that they revealed or anything that you saw there that you liked that they put out? Or
What's particularly coming for the off-road market, of course,
Mhm.
and not saying they primarily cater to that. They cater to all the Subaru community. But the and they've already dropped the release trailers and everything here, but they're set to be released here soon, is the light bars they have, and they're configurable, they're linkable, and what's really fantastic is just them really understanding the market. And so sitting down with the design team, as well as the engineering team, marketing team, you name it, having kind of a open table to get kind of talk with those guys and really understanding why they do what they do. It was really enlightening to see that they understand where the current market is, but they also are trying to look beyond that and go, well,
Mm.
this is just what everyone's doing. We're going to make a carbon copy. So recently they released their D switch, which is just revolutionary, in my opinion, because it's a CAN bus network switch and it's able to do so many other things that would not be normally possible with your normal switch panel, and whether that encompasses off-road or just on-road. So now you have a light switch that in a control panel that now, and I'm going to miss several other features, but a couple features that really resonate with me are the fact that uh, generally you have, let's say, 8 buttons. You have the 8 different slots where you can put your different lights, let's say. Well, each of those, slot one corresponds to number one corresponding row of the buttons configurationally. The problem with that is as you want to change things around later. So, for example, if you don't like where something is, you now have to open that control box and change wires around, which may or may not be easy to do. Beyond that, it gives you further controllability where now all of a sudden you can create automations through a couple different levels. One of which is they have secondary trigger wires, so you can have secondary triggers that automate different functions.
Mm.
So they have a separate harness that basically automates different functions. So based on, let's say, if you open your doors, it can turn certain lights on. Um, Turn signals can control different things as well. Um, as well as all of a sudden now you can take a singular button and say, you know what? I don't want that, even though that's tied into the, let's say, slot 4 on the control panel and the wiring. I want that to control 12 different functions, what have you.
Yeah.
You can do that.
You know
And
what
so with
this
that
rem
yeah, sorry.
I was just gonna say, you know what this reminds me of is, if you've ever seen for like PC setups, they have the shortcut panels where it has all the light up buttons, and then you can program your computer to change what those buttons look like. Like you can change the pictures, and when you click it, it
Exactly.
opens up a program. Like I feel like I could see cars going that direction where instead of you having to install all these switches and toggles and everything, like you really just have a panel that you can alter and change what each button does, and like the
Absolutely.
like everything will be smart enough to figure out what you're trying to do, and you can flip everything around. Like you're let's just say in a racing situation, right? Like if
Mhm.
you have a switch that turns the lights on your dash or not, you could switch it from this button over here to that button over there, and they all just talk to each other, and you can just flip everything as long as they're all connected to the same network, kind of thing like
Yeah.
that. So
And that's the whole
um
idea here. For example, like we have of course, for one of our demo rigs that we have on one of the switch panel buttons called show mode. So we
mm,
press that button and it automatically triggers different lights in different configurations than they normally are on their normal
hmm,
control function. So all of a sudden now certain lights will strobe, certain lights, and we can control all of that. We can have the strobe, we can have the brightness change, we can do all these different things and patterns with every single individual light. So it gives us a lot of functionality with just being controllable. Um, small niche thing, but as we were driving out, had to take a little rest at a rest stop and hopped into the back and realized forgot to turn off our switch panel. Was able to just open my phone, pop into the app, and just turn everything down and just turn the entire system off, which was just fantastic. Um, but yeah, so there's a lot of functionality, of course, they built into this thing, and it's less about fitting into the mold. And I think that's what really Diode represents, is trying to understand where things are going. Not to say they're quote unquote Apple-esque for better or for worse, but they're kind of trying to understand where there can be added benefits that you might not understand. And I think that's where companies like weird little off tangent shout out to Kaizen relays if anyone wants to look them up. They effectively made the world's first smart relay. And while that might sound mundane, think about kind of the same things we're talking about in terms of functionality, where all of a sudden this relay encompasses so much more than just being a basic relay, and you're able to daisy chain relays together. So you
hmm,
have one power and one ground, and you can have 8 relays daisy chain
that's
together,
cool.
and each one of them is Bluetooth controlled, and so you can do different things. And they have trigger wires as well, so you can have different functionality that controls those relays based on what ambiance or circumstance you require. So I think that companies like Diode, hats off to them. They give a lot back to the community in trying to answer what not only what we think we want, but also what we may not have realized we want. And I think there's a need for companies that are willing to innovate in that space and not just trying to present a carbon copy. Before they shamelessly came out, we were always kind of embarrassed that we had a switch panel that was no name. Well, we won't throw it out there, but very very common out there, and there's a lot of them. But long and short, ours was an off-brand, but it was the same as one of the name brands, and they're just carbon copies. And I think we talked about this last episode, is where companies are just really just trying to sell you something, and they're not really invested in the end consumer.
Yeah.
So
I think it's we're in a hard time too, right? Because it used to be that word of mouth in racing was huge, right? Like when I worked at the Ford racing shop I worked at, I had a customer that he walked in one day and he dropped, I think it was like 10 G's. Just he was like, I want supercharger. He's like, I want the cooling kit that the GT500 has. He's like, put it in my GT, which has like two like radiators in the front bumper, like, and I was like, where did you come up with this? Like, this guy, he just bought the car and he was like, I went to the track and he's like, this is what the guys at the track had and this is what I want. And like, I think that like that's how all of this kind of started, was that people saw what these cars were doing at the track and they go to a shop and they want that, and then the shops figure it out. But I think that where the issue has become now is that there's so many fake products out there. Like, everything on Amazon is available next day. You know, people aren't willing to wait for their private shop to get back to them on what they can do for them. They want things now. They want it instant. They're not willing to, like, I feel like it's kind of split too, because certain people are not willing to compromise on quality, whereas other people just, they don't care. They just want the fastest thing possible to fulfill that need of, I need that now, you know? So I don't know, man. I think that like Diode is a great company, and I think that I really hope that people continue to support them. And I think that as long as they keep putting out the product they're putting out, they'll be around forever. It's just getting harder and harder in these markets to draw in these people and prove to them that your product is good, because they're just fetching all of these crappy products that they just start to lose trust in all products. They don't know what's good, you know?
Absolutely.
It's just such a mess, I feel like, honestly.
Well,
Um,
if anything, it was a testament to what Dowd represents and what they give back to the community this past weekend, because
yeah.
getting to see, uh, I mean, they had pretty much round the clock, every hour on the hour throughout the event. Uh, Factory, warehouse tours, just to the general public. They were really just trying to bring everyone in from the community and kind of show them what they stand for. And I think that that's very noble, as well as getting to see the turnout that they had. I have yet to see the confirmed numbers, but I think last year, I may be misquoting it, but I think it was around 3,000 people last year. So I think they did pretty good, to say the least, this year, because from what I could tell, there was a line several miles long, unfortunately, due to the logistics of kind of how their property set out with a turn. I couldn't see the entirety of it, but we'll make a post about that again, just a reminder to everyone how big of a turnout that event was, and just it represents the community showing out for them because they're opening up to the community.
Yeah.
It goes both
I,
ways.
I think too, like, these events are so crucial because any company that spends thousands of dollars to have a prime spot, a tent right in the middle of the event, right? Whether it be at the Diode show, whether it be at Boxer Fest, Wicked Big, wherever, I think that like that just goes to show that they are putting the money where their mouth is, right? They're putting the money down. You go to Boxer Fest, IAG has a massive tent right there. Subi Mods is right there. Like, these companies are paying to prove to the community, like, we are the ones that are keeping this alive. We are the ones with the good products. We are the ones that are showing up and giving you discounts or giving you like good pricing at these events. Like, that, I think that it builds that sense of like, well, these people are here for our best interest. These people are here, for helping me and my car and what's best for my build. And I think that that's just what we've been losing a little bit of. But you know enough about these events. I feel like we've been talking about them for 2 episodes now. And Dave, I have two more things I want to talk about. I have one is a very fun thing that we're going to play here called Subaru Spirit Animals. Now, I have collected a list. I decided to do a little bit of a write up. I got a little creative, and I came up with 14 Subaru Spirit Animals. And what I want you to do, right, is as we go through, think about which one of these spirit animals talks to you, which one of these is you. And for anybody listening at home, listening in the car, wherever you're at, don't crash. But if you start, as we go through these, just keep track on your finger how many of these spirit animals mesh with you, because we want to see in the comments which one you think you are. So, um, I'm going to start off by saying this first one I loved making. So which one of these will guide your destiny? The boosted badger, small but loud, aggressive when provoked, and will absolutely pop and crackle at you for no reason, and lives for the tunnels. We have number 2, the Roof Rack Raccoon. Hoards gear on top of their car like shiny trash. May never use it, but will die defending it and its usage.
I'm dying.
Number 3, the Rally Rooster. Struts around like a WRC champion, crowning a sunrise during cold starts, never misses an opportunity to be heard. Are you the Cargo Area Corgi? Loves the outdoors, sheds relentlessly, and somehow always leaves paw prints on the windows.
I love that one.
Yeah. Then we have the Maintenance Sloth. Moves slowly towards necessary repairs, often years that after they should. Somehow still survives reluctantly. Then we have the Parts Possum. Collects parts in secret and hides them away for later. Later never comes. Trunk is full of parts that they continue to buy without installing. Number 7. This one is everyone.
They're getting better. I just have to tell you, they're getting better for you.
The snow leopard. Graceful and powerful, but only appears when it's snowing or icy. Completely vanishes in the summer. Always thinks that it's bad weather if it's not snowing. Then we have the exhaust peacock. Displays a loud, flashy exhaust note to attract attention, often accompanied by excessive revving.
Off the record, we do have a couple customers like this. We won't name any names, but if you're following us, you know who you are.
I'm gonna have to put this list in the description for sure, just so people have this to go off of.
They need a breakdown. This is fantastic.
Number 9, the sticker salamander. Bright, colorful, and covered in markings, lives happily in damp hatchback environments. Retreats back into the forester.
Oh my god, dude, that's fantastic. These like I said, these are getting better and better. The first one, I'm not saying it was bad, but they're just leading into each other. They're getting stronger and stronger.
Well, just wait. The check engine chameleon adapts to whatever error code appears that day, can clear codes faster than a dealership and make them disappear like himself.
Wow.
Now, some of you may argue that this one is not a real animal, but we have the MPG unicorn. Claims impossible fuel economy numbers no one has ever verified, possibly mythical. No facts. Number 12, the Rally Ram. Headbutts life's obstacles at full throttle. Grocery runs or time stages, blows every light from a standstill.
Like this guy.
Yeah.
Like this animal. It's a good animal.
We got 2 left. Number 13, we have the dealer deer. Easily startled by dashboard lights, instinctively bolts towards the nearest dealership. And then we have the final one, the forecast falcon. Eyes the horizon for storms to justify all-wheel drive adventures. Frequently wrong, always enthusiastic.
Okay. I like pretty much 99% of these animals. There's that last one that just I struggled. The second last one I struggled with. I don't see any need to to be that animal. Everyone else is, I think, a spirit power animal.
I started to run out of animals, so
dude, this is fantastic. Those are great. I liked every single one of them.
Think if I'm being really honest with myself, I would say it has to be the Boost Badger. I don't know if I'm anything else on this list because I don't care about MPG, right? Like I do all the maintenance possible. I'm not a peacock. I'm not trying to like rev it. I don't do the whole sticker bomb thing. Like I think though I am I am willing to pop and crackle for no reason, and I do love tunnels, so I'm in.
Yeah. I feel like
um,
there's certainly overlap where you could see yourself being a blend. Let's call it a bit of a hodgepodge, as I like to always say, where maybe you're an aardvark. No one knows what they are. No one's seen one. They're not confirmed.
isn't there a word for that? Let me see. I'm trying to figure it out. When you have multiple animals combined, isn't that not a manticore? That's like a lion or something.
Well, I know a Pegasus would fall into that category, of course.
Yeah, I thought they're let me see. Combined.
Which I love that now we're getting on a totally random mythological tangent, which is great.
Well, I'm
Uh,
saying if somebody is multiple of these, right? Like a chimera, that's what I'm thinking of.
oh, okay. That
Or
that
like a
yeah, cool.
centaur, or like
Yeah,
so like if I was to be, multiple of these, right? Like let's just say I also am the rally ram. I would be a centaur or a centaur. I would be um a chimera of the boost badger and the rally ram together.
yeah.
Oh
And I think
man.
that's where I would fall in. There's so many different kind of cross categories where it's like, ooh, a little bit of that, 1% of that, 5% of that, 10% of that, 25% of that. There's different scales to it. And I think that just speaks to the complexity and diversity of just super owners. And that's one of my favorite parts of just uh shamelessly of getting to own a Subaru repair shop is getting to meet those people. And events like the Diode event was getting to talk to fellow Subaru owners and get to kind of see what their vision was and really ask them like one of my favorite questions I'd love to ask a fellow automotive enthusiast is love the build. Yeah, you kind of at the end after they could explain them, you want to see where they're at, and then my favorite question to ask is what's next? What do you want to do? What are
Yep.
your dreams? What are your goals? What are your passions? And I think that really excites me is to see that even us, we have some at times maybe it's delusions of grandeur, if you will, for lack of a better term, but we're really passionate about wanting to push that envelope. And I think seeing everybody's unique builds, whether it be from the off-roading standpoint or the track standpoint, street car standpoint, you name it, getting to see everyone's different kind of metric of what they want and what they envision is really a special thing.
Yeah. I think too the best part is, right, is like this is a list of 14 spirit animals, right? This could be 100 animal list with the way that Subaru owners are, right? Like everybody wants to group them into the same like pot and be like, yo, they're all the same guy kind of thing. But honestly, everybody is so different in this community. Like this doesn't even mention anything about the guys who slam their Subarus. It doesn't mention anything about guys who drive right-hand drive imports. It doesn't mention anything about like the vapors, like I think that at the end of the day, like I love doing stuff like this because people can relate to at least one of these animals, but then there's also a bunch of other things that is not describing their build or not describing who they are. So I'm sorry if you don't relate to any of these because I honestly ran out of animals and the names were getting complex. So, you know, but if you guys have your own spirit animal you want to comment, go for it. I would love to see what you guys come up with. But this is my list. This is what I came up with, and that's what I'm sticking to. So, um, but yeah, man, I think that it's funny that some people they are these spirit animals to a T. I've known a lot of people that cover the whole back of their Forester with stickers, and it's like that kind of stuff makes me laugh because I've known people like that, Um, so I just thought that was going to be a fun segment. But yeah, so I have another segment for us, Dave. So we're going to keep on rolling here. I know our last two episodes have been kind of long, so I'm going to try to keep this one on pace for us. I know that an hour and a half can get kind of to be a lot for a podcast. So I have for you, Dave, a WRX files this week. And this is something that I was really excited when I dug into it, and something that I was finding a lot of information on. So I thought that it would be a really good topic to bring up. And that is on the vanishing Group A legacies. So let me take a drink here before I keep going. There is a whole group of legacies from Group A Rally that were used in racing, and Subaru got the homologation. That word always horrifies me. Homologation. I'm just going to use. So they were able to race these legacies in Group A, and after Group A ended, these cars vanished. They started to disappear. Nobody knew where they went, either into museums or if private buyers picked them up, or what happened to these cars. So in the early 1990s, Subaru built a machine that would mark its first real strike into the world of rally dominance. The Legacy RS Group A, a four-wheel drive turbocharged sedan born in ProDrive's UK workshops and blessed by Subaru Technica International. It was fast, rugged, and then some of them vanished. So, um, I kind of want to set the stage here of where we're heading with this. So let's start with what we know. On January 2nd, 1990, the FIA gave the green light to Subaru's legacy sedan, the 2.0 four-wheel drive turbo BC. Official Group A homologation that meant it was able to fight at the top tier of the World Rally Championship to qualify. Subaru had to produce over 2,500 examples of the model, but the number of true rally prepped ProDrive built cars, that's never been officially confirmed. So they don't actually know the exact number that ProDrive was building for Group A and where they landed. They weren't just homologation paperwork. In 1989, four specially prepared Legacy RS Type RAs went to Arizona in the desert and ran for 18 and a half days straight, covering 100,000 kilometers at an average of 138 miles per hour. They said an FIA-sanctioned endurance record, one that burnished Subaru's reputation for toughness. Oh, in the glory years of these vehicles from 1990 to 93, the Group A legacy fought its way through rally stages all over the world, and in 1993 at New Zealand, it scored its first and last WRC victory. Shortly after, the legacy handed the torch to the now iconic Impreza 555, who I'm sure all of you know, the 555 Impreza, debuting at Rally Finland that same year. Some of these legacy RS rally cars survived the transition. One famous example, registration K555BAT, was driven by Ari Vantanen and Richard Burns. Later restored with ProDrive's blessing, it sold at auction for a small fortune. Others, like Rothman's liveried 1992 car, have surfaced in pristine restored form. But a lot of these legacies have not. They have not shown up anywhere. Nobody knows what happened to them, and they kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth. So I'm going to show some pictures here real quick of what we're looking at. For those of you at home, I'll try to describe the best I can what's going on with these. So let me do this. So this is the Subaru Legacy. That's the back of it. And
I feel like I've seen pictures of this before.
Yeah, so it's got the ProDrive, kind of look to it. And this is what the front of this looked like. So there's a couple different versions here. So this is the Rothman's one. As you can see, it's livery with his name on it. and then this was the 555 one. So I'll leave this one on the screen. Basically, it's the legacy from Group A with the 555 livery on it. So as far as the disappearance goes, the story turns into a mystery because when a works rally car retires, it might be sold to a private team or stripped for parts or tucked away by a collector somewhere. In some cases, they get rebodied into other rally cars, their chassis numbers hidden under fresh paint. But some of the legacy Group A cars have no public record after their last competitive outing. No auction listing, no museum placement, not even a blurry photo from a forum somewhere. They just disappeared. These things are just non-existent. Don't know where they went. So it's really interesting to me. Where are they? Where did they go? Who took them? Are they sitting in somebody's garage somewhere? Are they ever going to come back out? you know? So theory one is that some of them are sitting in barns or garages, either from previous drivers, they got to take them home or things like that. And they're just sitting under tarps or forgotten. Maybe they're misidentified as street cars because people modified them after Group A and they couldn't distinguish that it actually was one of the rally cars. Theory two, a few could be mid restoration. So people could be restoring them. They could be in private workshops somewhere being worked on. There's no way of knowing because if these people took it, it's hard to say if they would be keeping them hidden from the world and they just don't want people to know they have it, things like that. Theory three is that they've been reborn. The bear shell might still exist, but it's wearing a different identity. An Impreza Rally clone, a track day car, or even a drift machine. It could be that they ripped all the liveries off and just sold them. Maybe they took the parts off, put them back to a base model, and that's why there's no trace. They just kind of are off the table,
Or just scrapped them, sadly.
Well, that leads me into my theory. I think that it could have been overseas exile. I think that these cars traveled the globe for competition, and possibly a few ended up in markets like Australia, Japan, New Zealand, where they remain in private hands running in local rally events, or maybe, they're out of the spotlight and they're just being used for the way they were built. And I think that maybe as Subaru started to work into the Impreza, maybe they left them in these other countries. Maybe there were people that were like, hey, if this is the last race for this car, I want to buy it, So
good point.
Basically, for anybody listening, somewhere out there in a barn, I'm sure there's one of these sitting somewhere.
Find it.
Yeah. It could be one of the Subaru's first great WRC legacies. It could be a car that was built for the track and was just forgotten. If you've seen a legacy RS that looks a little too serious for a street car, odd roll cage, unusual VIN plate, strange bodywork, we want to know about it. I would say if you ever run into one of these, post it in the Facebook group or hit us in the comments. But there's a possibility that if you know somebody who owns one of these, or if you've seen them, it could be one of these missing models that was resold or made its way back into the community. So, I just wanted to touch on this because I thought this was such a cool story when I started to look into it and saw that some of these had gone missing. I think that the other possibility, honestly, on my end, is that it was something that I think is always a possibility, is that Subaru is keeping them. They're keeping them hidden, private, There's a couple photographers that I follow that they go and take pictures of Japanese cars and things like that. And I saw recently somebody was in a private car collection and there were some cars there that he was photographing that people hadn't seen in years. They didn't even know that these cars were still out there. So that's totally possible. There's people that they just collect, they'll pay whatever the price is. They'll go grab this legacy. They'll never drive it again. They'll stick it in their collection. That's it, Unfortunately
That's
for the
sad.
community, when they want to know what happened, it's hard to track it down when it has to do with something like that. So I just wanted to bring this up and kind of touch on it. I think it's a really cool story. I think it's part of Subaru's history, and I think that the more of these that pop up out of this story and start to get revealed, I think the cooler it becomes. Um,
Yeah,
Trying to track down all these legacies. So I don't know, Dave. What do you take away from that?
I agree. I think there's a lineage that uh, there's a preservation aspect, and I think that I'd be hard pressed to think that Subaru would be hoarding these cars, so to speak, because what better way to kind of promote your brand, And but at the same time, you're right. Enthusiasts can buy these things up, and or you know what? Unfortunately, I think in the moment, uh, we're all short lived, and I think that everybody would love to have their childhood toys and Pokemon cards, if you will, of what have yesteryears where now they're worth $15,000 a card,
Yeah.
some
You
of
know
them.
what I you know what my other theory on this is that look at the 22B, right? They made a set number of them. People are clinging on to them and hiding them away because they're worth so much money and they're amazing cars. And these companies came out and they released set versions of a reinvented 22B. I don't know if you saw the story of the guy who's the son of one of the drivers that drove the 22B, and he bought one and now he still drives it, and so he has one of the new versions that came out that they released a set number of. Um
That's cool.
I could see something like this being in that realm, right? Imagine a 555 Legacy Group A rally car. They release a set number
Ah,
of like 100 of them, and they just put them back out as like a, you know what I mean? Like that's so cool. I love the idea that that could possibly happen, and I think that that's like amazing if it's true, and if these companies are planning on doing something like that. I think that's just amazing. So, I these WRX files, I love doing them because I'm learning so much about Subaru's history, but I also feel like I'm uncovering things that either were forgotten about or people just never kind of stumbled across. So, I hope you guys are liking these too, and I want to keep digging. I think that there's so much more here, and there's so many of these interesting stories to keep finding. And this just opens my brain to like I want to find more of these legacies. I think that if I ever see another one of these again, I am gonna be checking it. It's like when you find a Cobra kit car and you want to know if it's real or not, so you start banging on the fender. I'm gonna be seeing these legacies out there, and I'm gonna be like, is that a rally car? Yeah, like,
yeah,
yeah. So I mean, dude, one of the big tells, you see the radio antenna right on top. I
yeah,
wonder if it would still have the mount, something like that. That would be awesome. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of touch on that. And this is just a really cool topic. I'm just realizing now that I didn't show you the picture of it with the radio antenna. So you see there's something like that, like right on the roof.
yeah. Old
So
school,
like
baby.
if that antenna was on there for some of these, that could be something to look for. Maybe there's still a mount. Um Yeah, this one has it too. And this one's got these weird, lights or whatever on top, probably air vents. Um, that's awesome. So I just wanted to take a minute here towards the end and just kind of thank everybody again. I mean, today was an amazing day. You guys blew up our socials. We are growing constantly. We're trying to put out the best possible thing. We are coming ready, prepared for Boxer Fest. We have everything lined up right now. You guys could possibly win a backpack for the Wave podcast with the Subaru computer mouse in it, where you click on the little hood there. It's
Yeah.
also going to have a bunch of sponsor stuff in it. So make sure you guys put your tickets in ours and try to win it. And yeah, Dave's on his way. We're going to make it work. We're all going to be there. We're going to have a great time. We're so excited to meet all you guys that comment on the video and started following us. We love it. We just really want to connect with the community. We're going to be doing the live podcast. Please come stop by, pop in a chair, talk to us about your build, talk to us about Subaru. If you got a cool story, we want to hear it. And we're going to put it all together and put it out. So, and also, don't forget to tell us what your spirit animal is. I want to know. So, and Dave and I are out, and we'll see you guys next time.